Alright, before I start this, I just want to say I'm not going to do I remember I said what my plans were for today. We're going to be these two movies and commentary for the episode from Supernatural entitled My Bloody Valentine. Well, I was going to start setting things up in my office so I could do the commentaries in here. And regrettably, it would mean I have to move my Xbox around, but stuff's going on, because of the carpet thing. I'm not gonna be able to do it, so there's that. But I'm reviewing My Bloody Valentine 3D, and I remember when I first saw this movie, I was so pissed off. Not because of the quality of the movie. This movie is great. This movie is awesome. I love this movie now. But what pissed me off was the ending. Alright, if you don't know, this movie stars Jensen Ackles, who is on Supernatural. Two movies came out that year, My Bloody Valentine, Friday the 13th. Both remakes, and both starring one of the main characters in Supernatural, with Jensen Ackles starring in My Bloody Valentine 3D, and Jared Padalecki, the other guy, starring in Back to the Future, Friday the 13th. Now, I've never seen the original, but I know enough about the original to know what happens. So the story here is that in the Hanniger mine, 5 miners, including Harry Warden, are trapped in a cave-in caused inadvertently by Tom Hanniger. And so Harry Warden decides to save oxygen. He's going to kill every single one of these miners. So he's, saved himself. And he ends up in a coma. He then wakes up a year later on Valentine's Day and shows up at the back of the mine where teenagers are having a party in a mine. A thing? I don't know, but Tom Hanniger happens to be there with his girlfriend Sarah, and their friend Axel is there with his girlfriend Irene. And Harry Warden shows up, starts killing people, including two guys named Michael and Jason. I wish I could insert at least one clip of that Sylvester Stallone from Oscar just going, named Michael and Jason. That look that he does it. It's like, this guy's like, hey Michael, then his eye gets popped out, and that's cool. And then later, this other character is yelling out, Jason, and I'm like, okay, you got me, Michael, Jason, I get it. Halloween, Friday the 13th. And Jason came out, Friday the 13th came out later. And so we see this first scene. The cops show up, they start shooting Harry Warden. This thing, after they shoot Harry Warden, he looks right in the face of Tom Hanniger. And that sets up what would eventually be the twist of this. Oh, it pisses me off so much. So we go throughout the film. We have some genre, favorites like Kerr Smith, who was in Final Destination, Jamie King, who will go on to be in Silent Night, the remake of Silent Night, Deadly Night. Jensen Ackles was in Devour before this. Not many people know about it. I reviewed Devour. Watch my review. Watch the movie first. It's a good fucking movie. And not many people know about it. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Atkins is in this. It's not a major role by any means. He plays the sheriff. And after this event happens, 10 years pass. Tom Hanniger has come back to town. He left town after this. He come back to town. He's going to sell the mine since his dad passed away. And everybody's mad at him. They're mad at him because he's selling the mine. They're mad at him because they say it's his fault for what happened to Harry Warden. Okay, I'm going to straighten this up. They blame him for all the killings that Harry Warden did. Tom, as far as I've seen, accidentally caused the cave-in. What happened from then on inside that cave, inside that mine, was out of Tom's hands. Tom had nothing to do with that. He wasn't there. He couldn't have done anything about it. No one could do anything about it. Harry Warden took that into his own hands to kill the other miners. It's not Tom's fault that that happened. Sure, if Tom hadn't made that mistake, that probably wouldn't have happened. But Tom cannot be responsible for someone else killing people. Like, you know, he can't. I'm just saying. There's a phlegm in my throat. I'm trying to get rid of. I'm sorry. So, Tom's returning. He reconnects with Sarah, who's now married to Axel. And Irene is naked. That's all we get for Irene the rest of the movie. She's having sex with some trucker guy. And then she finds out he's taping it. And he breaks off what they're doing. And then she comes out with a gun and shooting at him naked. And then the miner shows up. Or we'll call him Harry Warden, because that's the killer's name. Harry Warden shows up and runs her down. It's like 10 minutes of her just being naked. Almost 10 minutes of her being naked. And now, Irene's death doesn't make sense to me, because I was watching it this time and I noticed she's behind the mattress. And it's one of those bed springs where it's like wired. One of those ones, you know what I mean? That you can often have in motels and stuff. And he's trying to hit through with the pickaxe. And it's not getting through. And he goes king, and king, and king. And then all of a sudden it just goes like this. And it... If it wasn't working to do it the other ways, how all of a sudden it just work when he does that? It's like, oh, just do it this couple times like it's not going to work. And then just do it and we'll make it work. Doesn't make sense that he's trying to do it, you know, this way and he can't get through. One swing this way and he kills her? And why doesn't he just take the box spring and chuck it across the room and then do it? I don't know. Irene's death has never been made sense to me. I'm just saying. And, so they you know, there's red herrings and, you know, most notably Axel is the biggest red herring in the movie where they, you know, they were counting on fans of the original, right? Where they were counting on people who've seen the original to see this and say Axel's going to be the killer. And they try to push that believability to you in this. Basically framing Axel to be the killer, like, oh, there's kills that take place at his house. His ex-girlfriend's the first victim. He's having an affair with Megan, and she tells him she's pregnant, and then soon afterwards, she dies. Problem solved, right? Even Tom goes to great lengths to prove that it's Axel. There's one little thing, one little exchange that made me think, that might have been a good idea. Is when they go to they go to collect Harry Warden's body, because they find out that Sheriff Burke, along with Tom's dad and Axel's dad, killed Harry Warden and buried him in a forest. They go to find it. Earlier Tom had seen a deputy in the mines when he goes to talk to Kevin Ty's character, or Kevin Teague, whatever you pronounce it, his character Ben. And then he gets trapped behind in this cage thanks to Harry Warden, and then Harry Warden kills Red. I'm calling it the killer Harry Warden because it makes sense, and I don't know, it's weird if I keep saying the miner, or the killer Harry Warden. That's who the killer is supposed to be. Just saying. Got the phlegm out. So that leads us to, okay, he's not the killer because he's been shoved behind there, whatever. And so he, like he said, he saw the deputy down there, and it's after they go and they see that the body, that Harry Warden's body is gone, and everyone starts to walk away, and Tom looks at the deputy and says, "Why were you at the mine earlier?" And I thought about it, I'm like, that would have been interesting. What if it was the deputy? Think about it. They could have played off of it. His dad was one of the people killed by Harry Warden. So he's getting revenge on all the other people in the town. You know, this has not really happened, but it's an idea. Let's just say that they could have had it been, instead of playing around with the, like, they're basically what they do. If you know in the original Axel is the killer, they swap it. Instead of doing that, pissing me off, because we'll get to the end. This is a spoiler review, of course. They could have done this. Make it the deputy. Be it that he's on a revenge quest about everyone who is involved. Because Harry Warden, like, say that the deputy's dad was one of the miners that Harry Warden killed. So then now the deputy is on a killing streak trying to get revenge. He can't get revenge on Harry Warden because Harry Warden is dead, so he's going to kill everyone else involved with killing Harry Warden. Like Ben, the sheriff, you know. And what's the perfect frame? You have, and he sees there's a rivalry between Tom and Axel going on, so he sets it up to make it look like both men are guilty to each other, hinting him off his case. That would have been a great reveal, you know? But no, they have to go the psychological route. So it's down to our three main characters: Tom, Axel, Sarah. Tom is trying to take Sarah to Axel's cabin to show him about the cheating and everything. And she gets a call from Axel, and Axel tells her that Tom has been in a mental institution for the past 10 years. For 7 years, whatever. And she freaks out and causes a car accident. She runs off. Eventually, she gets to the mine where both Axel and Tom show up. And then the reveal happens. And it pissed me off so much. I remember, I'm like, no, he better not be the killer. I'm like, because they kept, as soon as they said he's in the mental institution, I'm like, man, he better not be the goddamn killer, alright? Because if you know the movie Devour, it's left ambiguous as to what happened in Devour. Whether or not the character of Jake, played by Jensen Ackles, committed all the murders, went nuts and committed all the murders, or whether the devil was really there and everything was involved, everything you saw actually happened. So it's a little uneasy when I watch that movie, and it's like, he could have been the killer, but he's not the killer. But is he? Is he not? I don't know. Here, it's like, they better not make him the killer. But like I said, as soon as they say he's in a mental institution for 7 years, I'm like, oh, son of a... You better not make him the killer. I'm going to be pissed. And then they do it. He and Axel get into an argument, and then this is where I got pissed. Because I figured it out right away, just like Sarah does. So, when Megan is killed, in blood above her, it says, "Be mine forever," which is what she wrote on the Valentine to Axel. So, he says, above Sarah's body, says, "Be mine forever." That's exactly what she wrote to Axel in the Valentine, whatever. And right automatically, I'm like, wait, how would he know she's dead? How would he know what was written? And then Sarah says, "How did you know Megan is dead?" He's like, "You told me." And I'm sitting in the theater going, "No, she didn't." Fuck. You gotta be shitting me. Really? And then you see, there was an inch of hope. You see Harry Warden come up behind him. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, so this is all just another red herring. Great. And he's like, kills behind you, kills behind you, kills behind you. And then they have him turn around, nothing there. I'm like, gotta be kidding me, really? Apparently, Tom has been the killer since the movie started. And he's basically suffering from multiple personality disorder. And I've heard people say, oh, how can he be? It's so stupid that he's just Harry Warden. Because, they say Harry Warden's dead. And I was like, no. He's here. Is that you, Harry? You living inside Tom? And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I'm here. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. It does. If you're a big horror fan who watches as many kind of horror movies, horror stuff as I have, you know there's multiple personalities. And he's been in a mental institution for 7 years dealing with this. He takes the medication. You see him taking medication throughout the film. It's a multiple personality disorder where, because of the incident that has happened 10 years prior, a multiple personality of Harry Warden has formed inside his head. And eventually now has taken over and is getting revenge for everything that happened. For the people that killed him, like Ben. Like the sheriff, you know? I think Axel's dad must be dead. And I know that Tom's dad is dead. But then it goes after Axel. It goes after Sarah. It's building on those insecurities that Tom has about Axel as well. It's messing with his head. Like I said, when I first saw this, I was pissed. But I understand now why they did this. It's a twist on the original, where it was Axel who was the killer. Here, it does make sense. Even though I think my idea with the deputy would have been better. And I always, hear people talk shit about this movie. Like, oh, it sucks. It's terrible. The kills are great. Yes, the pandering to the 3D audience isn't the best, but it's still decent horror. You got great characters, great actors. Yes, Axel's not one of the best characters, but I think he redeems himself by the end. Because he and Sarah seem to be great at the end. This is one of the horror movies I can't believe never got a sequel. Because it did well. It's a great movie. I just don't understand it. Give it a 9 out of 10 for My Bloody Valentine 3D. What are your thoughts on My Bloody Valentine 3? In the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.